My name is Dre, and today I'm going to be going over Serato sample, and I'm gonna be going over some cool things about it, things that I've learned, things that I like, things that I love, all different types of things. So first, let me go ahead and pull it up, and then I'm gonna be showing you guys a beat that I made using Serato sampler as well. So first, let me pull this up. Let's see, Serato sample, perfect. So it looks like I already have a sample loaded in here. Let's kind of see what that's doing. Yeah. Fill tone. Let's see, bring that back to the regular. Perfect. So you kind of hear what's going on with the sample. Um, First, I want to go through a couple things and parameters that Serato sample has. First, I want to go over the play button. So if I just press play, perfect. And then this right here is going to be your stop and then your continue play. So if I have this one selected, if I hit a note, what it's going to do as soon as I end up stopping that, if let's say I find something that I really like in that sample, what I'm able to do is I'm just able to stop, and then it's going to repeat back to where I started from. So and then we're back to the front, right? And then this one, let's say I want to start somewhere, and then let's keep it going. Let's have it just keep playing out. It's almost the same as just having the play button, except you're telling it when to go back to its original place. So let's start that. No hands. You see it's just playing through. But then as soon as I want to stop it and I want to go to something else, I'm able to hit the key again, and then we restart it. So that's a cool feature. And then one of my favorite things about the Serato sampler is I load my sample in, and it automatically gives me the key that it's in, and then it also gives me the tempo, which I think is truly amazing. And then what I'm able to do is I'm able to sync it up to whatever tempo that I have. Let's say I was already working on a beat, I was looking for a sample, and I want to put it into my program, but I want to change the speed. As you hear, one more time, I'm going to play the sample so then you can hear what actually happens when I put the sync on. It's supposed to make it faster. So let's see what happens. So watch. This is the original. Oops. Let me go on the play so you guys can hear that. So you get the vibe, right? So let's go ahead. As you see, my beat that I made, I'm not going to be showing you the sample when I show you the beat that I made, but let's say the beat that I did make is 127.67. So let's sync that up. And like I said, it's supposed to make it faster, so let's see what happens, right? That's faster. And it sounds dope. Cool. So I'm gonna leave it synced up for right now because I like it being a little bit faster. It kind of has a little bit more bounce to it, you know what I mean? And then let's keep going over some more things that you're able to do with it. So as I showed you before, so it has the C sharp minor as the original key that it's in, and as you see, this sample is set at 94. Serato sample, perfect, right around there, 93.96. So it's so accurate, it goes down to the tenth of the BPM. So I think that that's awesome. But let's say I like this. But I want it to be a little brighter. I want it to have almost like a higher pitch to it, let's say. So let's mess around with it and see where we like it. You're able to go from C sharp minor, it's automatically going to put it in the key that it located the sample in. And let's mess around with it. Let's see what happens. So let's put it in G minor and see what happens. Let's see how that sounds. And as you see, as I changed the key of the sample, it didn't slow it down, it didn't speed it up, it kept it at that same tempo, which I love, because sometimes with samplers, when you're changing the pitch of things, it can start to sound like there's multiple sounds coming from it, or what can happen is it will actually speed up or slow down. So let's say if I was to bring this down lower, right? So right here we're back at C sharp minor, and I'm bringing it down. Let's say to A minor. That's fire. And it didn't bring the tempo down. It still kept it at 127.67. Everything still sounds good. It doesn't sound like there's a whole bunch of redigital things happening and giving it this weird sound. It keeps everything intact and it keeps it really nice. So that's one thing that I really love about it. And then you can also detune it by a couple cents. So let's say I bring it down to A minor, but it's a little bit too dark, so I'm able to bring the cents up of it, and that's when you kind of get into the fine tuning of the sample. So let's play around with that and see how that goes. And just like that, I'm able to bring it up just a little bit without having to change the whole sample or change the whole key of the sample. I'm just able to bring it in to get it right to the way that I want it, you know. I'm going to bring it back to 0, A minor, and then I'm going to show you a couple other things that I think that are super awesome. One thing is the fine samples. So in this sample, it's pretty long. It looks like I got a lot of song in here. Let's say we go to find samples, which the drop down has key shift pad, set random, set slicer, find samples. This is your keyboard. Let's say I want to go to find samples. Boom. It lays it all out there for you. So I'm gonna start on C. It makes it so easy to pick the pieces of the song that you want. It already gives you the samples. It gives you places where you can start from. here. You can use this as like a transition if you're making a beat. You use that, the beginning part that I'm using. You know, you can, you know, once you start producing it and everything like that, you're able to use all of these pieces and it automatically slices. It makes really finding the pieces of your sample super easy to do. Inside of the parameters of the sample, you're able to change things. So go back to the original. Let's say I want to bring that up in volume. I'm gonna make it a little bit dramatic so you guys can hear what's going on. I'm turning it up, and then I'm able to mess with the filters at the same time. Perfect. You want to make sure that the beat, the sample starts a little bit later. You turn the attack, and that's how it fades in here. You're able to fade the sample in, and the cool part is it's on your keyboard. So all you have to do is literally press boom, record. Here, you press record. Let's say this is the only one that I want to record in. So I press record. This is gonna click me in, and then stop it. And now if I go in here to my sampler, boom, now I'm in the arrangement window, and then I'm able to hear exactly what I just played. So let's go here. Easy, easy, super easy. Let's cut that out, and then let's bring the sampler back in. Let's see where it's at. There we go. So now we're back at it. And then let's say I want to bring my sample, I want to start it here right on the, right there where the transient is. Let's say I want to bring it back to the beginning. Super cool. And then let's say I only want to play it up to this point. I want to see what's going on here. I don't want to do anything extra, and I want it to stop so I can kind of mess around with it and see what it's doing. So let's play that. It automatically stops this, and I don't have to worry about it. All I'm doing is setting the thing saying this is where I want it to end. Okay, very cool stuff. Very cool. And just bring that back, and it's not a problem. You know what I mean? Easy. All right. Another cool thing about it is we can also reverse it. So I'm gonna start with a sample that's a little bit further up. I always go back to my transition. Let's see. There we go. This is good. So let's take this and let's reverse it. So as you see, you saw when I flipped it, it changes the flags to where now this is the way that we're gonna be going. So now we're gonna reverse it. And that's a cool thing because we're able to get really creative ideas as we're going. As a producer, I don't like to have to stop and figure out and try to figure out what I'm doing to make things work. I like things to work, and the cool thing about Serato Sample is all in this, it's all in the program. and you're able to mess around with things. You're able to let it just play while you're filtering samples, while you're leveling samples, while you're changing the attack time and the release time on what you're doing. You can key shift, you can time stretch it as you're going. Then you're able to come up with very creative ideas as we're going through it. So another situation, now I have it reversed. Let's see what happens. Perfect, you know, and now we're back at. I have it playing. And I'm able to change it up as soon as I want to. Another cool thing is, so I've already changed the key down to A minor, right? Let's go to this one, and let's key shift it up. Let's bring it up 7. Let's see what happens. As I'm playing, you're able to mess around with this stuff, and as you saw, the BPM did not change. It stayed the same. Once we press sync, we are locked in there. Time stretch, let's say you like to have time things. I'm gonna go with the same sample that I was just doing. Boom. And just like that, I've already made the end of the beat that I would make or whatever in this situation, you know. I'm able to take that, I record that in, that's my piece, I'm going to throw that at the end of it, you know. Just by being able to be creative, I'm able to come up with so many ideas so fast, you know. You want to get rid of all the samples that you made, you could just delete them, and then we could start back at 1 if that's what you want, or bring it back to 1. Easy. Now let's say I want to use the keyboard to pitch my sample, right? I throw the piano down here. You see this click of the button, piano. And now I can play any key that I want. Let me see if I can show you. So I have my keyboard down here. I'm able to play, say, a higher note. So dope. So cool. It's so cool because sometimes I like to do pitching it down using the program. Sometimes I like to use my keyboard, but the best part is that I can do all of this and I didn't leave the program. I'm still in here. So I'm still coming up with ideas as we're doing things inside of the program, and I never had to leave. That's how you're able to stay creative with the Serato sample. That's why I love it so much. So I had a sample that I have here. I pulled the SWV sample, so pretty easy. And I found what I wanted to use very fast. I did define samples first, and then after that I cleaned it all up and I just took the pieces that I wanted, which was this one. So I want to play that sample for you real quick and show you. excuse me, what it was. Let's see here. So -7 key shift, I had it down, I had it up, E minor, and let's turn the sync off, even though the BPM of that is still the same. And then let's take the filter from 441 to right there in the middle to where it's not filtering anything. And let's hear the original sample. Let's see what I did to it, and then I'm gonna show you a beat that I created using that sampler. So perfect. So that was what the sample was. Let me bring that filter back in. Let's say 450. That's pretty close to where I had it. Let me bring it there. Or 441. That's exactly where I had it. Let me bring this up too, and then I'm gonna key shift it down. And why not sync it? Just make sure everything is locked in where it's supposed to be, and then let's play that and see where it's at. And then let's bring up the volume just a tad bit because I took a couple frequencies out of there. So I'm going to bring some volume back in there to compensate for that. One more time. All right. And then what I'm gonna do is show you this second sample. Bring this over. See which one it was. Was it this one? No, I think it was. So what I did here is I actually, let me turn it up for you. I reversed it. I reversed the second part of it. This was just the vocals. The first one was just the beat. The second one is just the vocals. I thought that was cool. Play it the way it was. Right, so now I'm gonna reverse it and it sounds. So the cool part about that was I was able to put all my parameters back in there. I was able to change everything that I wanted to. I'm able to keep it at A minor instead of the other one where I had dropped it down. And play it one more time. So those are the two samples that I used. This one, as you see, I used the Find Samples, and I was able to find this one with the program, and then that's how I was able to come up with this idea. I'm gonna bring some stuff in there for you guys to hear how I layered everything. Let's see. Actually, before I show you that, let me just do the sample. Let's just do that so you guys can kind of hear how those two sounded together. I'll go to my arrangement screen. Where we can hear it. So let's hear what's going on there. Just one more time. It was this one, not this one. And then we'll show you when it comes into the sample number 2. Cool. So going back in, we go ahead and bring all the instruments back in there so you guys can kind of see how it all comes together. Bring you to here and kind of see how everything is working together. And there you have it. So, like I said, cool thing about this program is I did not have to leave to get what I wanted to get with the samples. I was able to find the sample that I like. It gives me the key, gives me the BPM. I'm able to go to the BPM, put that in there. I'm able to detune it, key it up, key it down, sync it up to the program. I'm able to just get it to play the part that I want. While I'm able to change anything that I need to change in the meantime. See, that's not even the same. Mess with it, mess with it. And now I have something totally original, something that's different from the original recording of the song. It's not easily detectable, but it still keeps that same essence, and it doesn't sound like it's a bunch of digital artifacts going together to make it happen. It still sounds clean, it still sounds clear, it's still in time, and it's easy to use. Once I was able to get that, I'm able to throw it into my program, record it in. I did it pretty simple. All I did was just use my MIDI key. Actually, when I made this beat, I actually was just on my computer. I was just using my computer. So if you don't have a keyboard, that's not a problem. You're able to still just use your keyboard on your actual computer, and you can still get the job done. So no worries with that. I was able to throw it into the program. I was able to make a beat. Had no problems. It was super simple. And once again, played the beat for you.